If you don't like living with family, you can move out, my mom said, while they lived rent-free in my own house. I cooked, cleaned, and covered $2,000 a month in bills. When I asked for space, she snapped, "We're your family. Act like it." Hurt, I left. That night, I slept in my car, but at dawn I transferred every bill into her name. When I came back the next day, what happens when the people you love most start to feel like invaders? When they push you so far you find yourself sleeping in your car, wondering how your own home became a battleground. My name's Alex. I'm 28, and for most of my life I was that guy, the background character, the oldest kid who bought the bulk paper towels, the one who just fixed things. I work the IT help desk, night shifts, bad coffee, you know the drill. My job is literally to stay calm when surgeons are yelling. I'm the guy who wears out keyboards, who fixes stuff people don't even realize was broken. That was my role. It always was. Last year, I finally bought my own place. A small 2-bedroom, creaky stairs, tiny backyard. Nothing fancy, just mine. On closing day, I drove there, sat in the empty living room on a single folding chair, and just cried. No sound, just tears. It was a silent, hard-won victory. Then I walked around, socks picking up dust, and told my cat, "We did it." He just stared, like I'd overpromised. But I hadn't. This was my sanctuary. Then, 3 months later, the call came. Burst pipe at my parents' rental. Insurance nightmare. They needed a place to crash. A week or two, they said. And because I'm Alex, the reliable one, the one with extra chargers, the one who always shows up, I said, "Of course." Felt obvious. Family needed a couch? I had two. What could go wrong? A lot, it turns out. Those 2 suitcases quickly multiplied into 8. A week or two morphed into, until the contractor calls. My mom immediately started reorganizing my pantry like it had personally offended her. My dad, bless his heart, claimed the living room for job hunting, which somehow always involved sports at medium volume and my coffee table buried under newspapers. And then there was my sister, Mia. She started dropping by every single day to do laundry, because my washers are evil. Her laundry came with friends, loud music, and hair extensions drying on my curtain rod like grotesque seaweed. I kept telling myself, "It's temporary. Be generous, it'll feel good later." I told myself a lot of things. But my bills? They didn't care about any of them. Mortgage, gas, water, electric, internet, trash, even the HOA fees for my bins facing the wrong way. I was shelling out over $2,000 a month, not even counting groceries. Groceries became this bizarre social experiment in denial. "We'll get the next one," my mom would chirp, loading designer snacks into the cart like she'd won them. "You know we've got you," my dad would say, patting empty pockets. Mia even filmed a haul video in my kitchen and somehow forgot to tag me. I tried to be reasonable. I put up a whiteboard, listed due dates, amounts. I even wrote, "This is not a fight. This is clarity." I left spaces for initials, but the boxes stayed blank. Mia just drew a smiley face next to groceries, and my mom? She wrote "love" in cursive, like that's legal tender. My own home started feeling less like mine and more like a hotel I couldn't check out of. My desk got shoved into my bedroom so my dad could focus. My spare room became a storage unit, which meant my own stuff ended up in the hallway. My cat, usually a fearless tyrant, started sleeping under the bed. I started drinking my coffee in my car, just for a moment of blessed silence. And the comments? Oh, they piled up faster than the dishes. "Why are you so weird about the thermostat?" my mom would ask, nudging it to 75 degrees. "You're young, you run hot." Mia, waving my good olive oil like a flag, would add, "Don't be stingy." And my dad? Every time I asked for a dish to be rinsed, he'd just sigh, "Relax, landlord." Then came that Tuesday night, 9 p.m. After a double shift, I came home, stepped over 3 pairs of shoes and a literal mountain of laundry just to get to my kitchen. A cold pan of lasagna, caked on, sat glued to the stove. My dad snorted from his chair. Mia and my mom scrolled on their phones in synchronized boredom. I took a deep breath. "Hey," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Can we talk about keeping the place clean? I'm feeling really overwhelmed." My mom didn't even look up. "If you don't like living with family, you can leave." I blinked, stunned. "This is my house." She finally met my eyes. A cold, hard stare. "We're your family, Alex. Act like it." Mia, without a shred of warmth, just smiled. "Seriously, Alex? Don't make it weird." Something inside me clicked. Not anger. Not yet. Just a small, hard yes to a thought I'd been pushing away for months. I walked to my room, shut the door, and through the wood, I heard my mom say, "He's so sensitive." It felt like the final period on a sentence I was so utterly sick of reading. But this didn't start with the house. It started when we were kids. Mia got dance lessons, I got told to go read a book. If she forgot her lunch, my mom raced across town to deliver it. If I forgot, I learned the exact smell of cafeteria tomato soup and bleach. Her report cards were on the fridge, covered in stickers. Mine? Folded in a drawer. Good. But try harder. It wasn't cartoon villain cruel. It was just the family rhythm. Mia, the shiny one. Me, the reliable background. By high school, I was stocking shelves and tutoring algebra. All that money went to savings because, as my dad put it, "You're smart, Alex. Figure it out." And I did. Loans, scholarships, night shifts. I learned to fix a broken sink with YouTube and sheer stubborn pride. I learned when rice was done by the sound it made. Family gatherings? They were just training for how to be useful. I jumped dead car batteries. I fixed printers. I drove Mia across town for her migraines. If I ever said no, the family group chat would explode with guilt trips, then stony silence, then those forced, cheerful follow-ups that felt like punishment and glitter. When I finally bought this house, a short sale, with a roof that literally groaned in the wind, I didn't tell anyone for a whole week. I just needed one private win. One small piece of something just for me. When I finally told them, my mom cried, "Now you're a man." My dad clapped my back so hard I almost stumbled. And Mia? She filmed an entire walking tour of my empty house. Empty house vibes, she called it, and posted it without even asking. I swallowed the sour taste. I told myself to be generous. And right then, the boomerang left my hand. The burst pipe happened. And they arrived. Day 1. Mom color-coded my pantry. Then threw out spices she deemed suspicious. Day 2. "Don't be cheap," she'd say, nudging the thermostat up again. Day 3. Dad borrowed cash for groceries, only to return with craft beer and novelty chips. "We deserve treats," he declared. "Treats are great," he'd say. The bills? They didn't care about treats. I started tracking the numbers like they were my own blood pressure. Gas, electric, water, internet, trash, hundreds on groceries. Those "I'll pay you back on Friday" texts? Friday never came. I tried the whiteboard again. Due dates. Lines for initials. Mia doodled stars around Wi-Fi. My mom wrote "love" again. And my dad? Budgets are for people who don't trust each other. They slept in my beds, on my sheets, powered by my utilities. In my house, Mia would borrow my car, return it with the gas tank bone dry. "Oops," she'd say, sipping her fancy drink. She'd buzz my door at 1:10 a.m. because she forgot her key. When I opened it, half asleep, she'd look at me in my socks and say, "Wow, you're such a light sleeper. That's unhealthy, Alex." My mom hosted frugal dinners that were anything but. My sink became a permanent exhibit. Evidence of parties. My dad would fall asleep under the droning commentary of a sports channel. And my mom would shush me. "Be quiet, your father's tired." My aunt even called me the rich one for buying paper plates. Me, the guy driving a 2012 Corolla with a taped-up mirror. I'd ask for tiny things. "Please, just rinse your dishes. Please don't use my work laptop for reality TV. Please put laundry in the basket." Wow. My mom would snap. "You're keeping score. That's toxic." I told Mia, "No more friends after midnight on weekdays." She just blinked. "You're strict now." My dad bought a new mailbox, then asked me to install it while he watched the game. "Can you help?" I asked. "I've had a long week," he said. A long week of answering emails he never sent and napping, apparently. The money, that $2,000, it wasn't just a number anymore. It was a sound. Drip, drip, drip. I started waking at 5 a.m. just to sit in my car with coffee, begging for silence. I missed my old loneliness, the quiet, peaceful kind. Our conversations were stuck on a loop like a broken record. Me, "I need help with bills." Mom, "We raised you." Me, "I know, but this is now." Dad, "You make more." Me, "I pay for everything here." Mia, "Money talk gives me anxiety." But the real breaking point came when Mia used my emergency credit card for an Uber, then a salon day, then 3 sparkly phone cases. I saw the charge at midnight, staring at my bank app's blue glow, my mouth dry with disbelief. The next morning, I confronted her. "I'll pay you back in exposure," she said with a smirk. Then, seeing my face, okay, I'll Venmo you tonight." She didn't. That night, there were 6 of Mia's friends, my parents, my uncle, and a pot of soup boiling itself into sludge on my stove. Acrylic nails clicked on my cutting board. My poor cat had vanished. "Oh, good," my mom chirped as I walked in. "We need more ice." "Do we?" I asked, looking at the empty trays which felt like a perfect metaphor for my life. "Don't start," she snapped. "You're ruining the vibe." My voice shook, not with anger, but with sheer disbelief. "We need rules," I said. I had to beg to feel comfortable in my own home, a home with my name on the deed. "If you don't like living with family, you can leave." she said again, that same tired slogan. This is my house, I whispered, almost to myself, to the room. We're your family, Alex. Act like it. Everything went quiet. Except the soup, which hissed like it agreed with me. My dad reached for the remote. Mia gave me that half smile, like I dropped something, and she was just waiting to see if I'd pick it up. That was it. I walked to my room, packed a charger, a clean shirt, measured out cat food, and I left. No dramatic slam of the door. No performance. I just walked to my Corolla, slid in, and locked the doors. The click felt like a sentence ending. My house glowed, porch light on, figures moving behind the curtains. No one called my name. No one noticed the detail lodged deep in my throat. I drove to a 24-hour grocery store, parked under an orange lamp, texted my boss I needed a sick day. Then I turned off my phone, because waiting for a text that never comes is like chewing glass. I reclined my seat, staring at the car ceiling's fabric until it blurred into static. Rain started just before 2 a.m. Light at first, then a steady chatter. A street sweeper circled, its bristles a comforting drone. A guy in a reflective vest smoked by his truck. Didn't look at me. That felt like mercy. I counted my breaths. Listed bills in my head like counting sheep. Mortgage, gas, water, electric, internet, trash, food, cat litter. Again and again. I slept in small, ragged shreds, waking with neck pain that felt earned. At dawn, the sky went pale, polite. I drove to a coffee shop. The barista slid a cup toward me. Rough night? She asked. I just nodded. Tip too much. That small act of kindness. It felt like an anchor. I opened my laptop. Logged into every single account tied to my address. Gas, water, electric, internet, HOA, all those streaming services no one watched but somehow always played. In each portal, I clicked Manage Billing. I typed in my mom's full name. Her email, the same one she used to order groceries on my card. Her phone number. Click. Save. Confirmation emails started pinging. I screenshotted every single one, sending them to myself with subject lines like, gas changed, water changed, until my inbox looked like a checklist unraveling. I wasn't canceling anything. I wasn't cutting a line. I was just reassigning responsibility to the people who kept saying, we're family, like it made the light free. My hands didn't shake. My coffee went cold. By 10 a.m., with a headache pressing behind my eyes, I drove home. I rehearsed 3 sentences in my head, over and over, like a mantra. I'm not your landlord. I'm your son. And I won't carry this anymore. They were at the table eating cereal. My mom's voice was brittle. Oh, good. Did you cool off? Her smile tried to stuff the previous night into a pocket. Pretend it never happened. We need to talk, I said, standing tall. My dad sighed. Here we go. Mia didn't even look up. Can it be quick? I have a hair appointment. My voice was steady. I changed the bills into your name. Gas, water, electric, internet. You'll get the emails. My mom blinked. Then her eyes sharpened. You did what? You told me to leave if I don't like living with family, I replied. I left for a night. Now I'm back. With boundaries. If you want to stay, we can sign a simple month-to-month agreement. You contribute to bills. We have house rules. If not, you can make other arrangements. Either way, I'm done carrying this alone. You're punishing us, my mom accused. This isn't about revenge, I said, and my voice surprised me with its strength. This is about closure, about ending a pattern that hurts all of us. You can't evict your family, my dad blustered. I'm not evicting you, I said. I'm requiring adults to act like adults. The mortgage company accepts money, not gratitude. Mia finally looked up, mascara hovering. So, you're choosing money over family? I'm choosing sanity over chaos. God, she scoffed. You're so dramatic. It's okay if this doesn't work for you, I said. But if you stay, we sign at 7. If you leave, drop my key on the hook. No one spoke. I picked up my keys. My mom's voice, small and cutting, followed me. You'll regret this. I already regret not doing it sooner, I said, and I left again. This time to my friend Erin's couch, her dog sleeping with his head on my foot like a comforting paperweight. My phone exploded at 1 p.m. A flood of texts, 8 identical notifications. Your billing details were updated. Then my mom. What is this? Change it back now. Answer your mother. Missed calls. The family group chat, renamed Family Emergency. I muted it. My dad texted, you're being dramatic. Then, your mother is upset. Then, we had plans today. Mia, Wi-Fi is lagging. Fix it. Followed immediately by, also, can you cash app me for nails? You said you would. I hadn't. My aunt chimed in. Be the bigger person. My uncle. Pride comes before the fall. My grandma. Call your mother. Even a random number. Your dad is at my place, he's cooling off. I sent one message to the family thread and to each of them individually so no one could pretend they missed it. It laid out the house rules. The terms. If you stay, we sign a month-to-month agreement at 7 p.m. tonight. $600 total towards household bills and groceries. Due on the 5th. I'll itemize. I'm still paying the rest. No hosting without asking first. Clean kitchen the same day. My car is off limits. If these don't work, I'll help you find other options. I ended it with, this isn't punishment. It's boundaries. This is an offer with a deadline, not a debate. I put my phone face down, stared at Erin's ceiling fan, and just breathed, like I was learning how all over again. Erin slid a ginger ale onto my chest. Keep going, she said softly. Her dog snored. At 6:45 p.m., I walked back into my own living room. It felt like I was security at my own front door. My mom sat at the table, arms folded tight. My dad hovered nervously. Mia scrolled on her phone, legs folded under her like a flamingo. My printed agreement lay on the table, highlighted sections glowing like war paint. We're not signing this, my mom declared. It's insulting. It's clear, I said. And clarity can feel like an insult if you're not used to it. $600? My dad exclaimed. That's robbery. It's half the household bills. I'm still paying more than that, I reminded him. My mom tried. We gave you a childhood, and the electric company won't accept gratitude, I countered. Mia smirked. He wrote these lines in his notes. I slid a pen across the table. If you want to stay, sign. If not, I'll help you find a place, and we can move you this weekend. My mom scoffed. You don't treat family like tenants. You told me to leave my house. I shot back, my voice firm. You framed me as a landlord. I'm choosing to be a person with boundaries. The silence in the room had its own heavy weight. My dad grabbed the pen first, his signature a scrawl that looked like a medical emergency. Temporary, he muttered, until my thing comes through. His thing was always nothing. My mom signed next, her loops angry and tight. We raised you, she whispered. Like a spell that used to work. Mia just stared at the signature line. I don't have $600, she said. I'll give you $50 in shoutouts. You're not on the lease, I told her. You're a guest. You have 2 weeks to decide where you actually live. Her mouth opened, then slowly closed. You're going to be alone forever, she spat. Maybe, I said, but I'll sleep. She stomped into the storage room, re-emerged with a tote, snatched one of my hoodies, and flounced out. The click of the door closing behind her. That silence felt like oxygen. We started with logistics. Painful. Unromantic. Who buys toilet paper? When does trash go out? How to label leftovers. How to ask before inviting people over. I kept my mom's email as the primary contact on the utility accounts. She refused autopay, and I didn't argue. My dad actually agreed to mow the lawn and, miraculously, stopped using my good chef's knife on cardboard boxes. I taped the rules inside a kitchen cabinet. Felt a little petty, but it also felt like breathing. That night, my kitchen sink held exactly one mug. I washed it like it was the most precious, fragile thing in the world, and I laughed a little into the soap suds. I slept for 8 straight hours, then woke to birdsong and my cat standing on my chest like a furry supervisor. I fed him. We both just stared out the window, at absolutely nothing happening. And I almost cried from sheer, blissful relief. Of course, there were ripple effects. Extended family volunteered as mediators. My aunt called, "Your mother is fragile, Alex." My response, "So am I." My uncle, "Your father's pride is hurt." My response, "So is mine." My grandma, "Don't be cruel." My response, "Clarity isn't cruelty, Grandma." Mia posted an Instagram story about toxic people obsessed with money over a perfectly filtered selfie. I just muted her. She even texted me a rent invoice with a crying emoji. I replied with a list of part-time jobs and Venmo'd her $40 for the gas she claimed she didn't have. Her reply, "Thought you had boundaries." Mine, "I do. I'm also your brother." The first cycle of bills, now in my mom's name, hit. She called, crying. "This is so much. It's what it always was." I told her, my voice gentle. "You're just seeing it now." I talked her through setting reminders. She kept saying, "Autopay scares me." I told her, "Late fees scare me more." She did it anyway, muttering about scams. We hung up. I sat on my floor and just laughed into my hands, because the only other choice was to headbutt the wall. There were slip-ups. My dad invited friends over without asking. I came home to beer. Rings on my coffee table. I didn't yell. I just stood there, pointed at the door and said, "House Rule 3. He exhaled through his nose, ushered them out, wiped the rings with his sleeve, and asked, "Happy now?" I said, no, just consistent. My mom touched the thermostat one night, then pulled her hand back like it burned her. The next day, I bought her a fuzzy blanket and left a note. Use this instead of the furnace. She used it. Never said thank you. Didn't need her to. We set a 3-month timeline for them to find their own place. I made a spreadsheet, rentals, bus routes, starred the ones near affordable grocery stores. My dad rejected every single listing for reasons that sounded more like excuses. Too small, too far, too ugly, too many stairs, not enough stairs. I changed the column header on my spreadsheet from reasons to excuses. Then I just said, gently, pick one. He glared. Then he circled one that was fine. We applied. They got it. The night before they moved, my mom made lasagna. She cleaned the pan afterward, scrubbing it like a confession. She set a plate in front of me. Eat, she said. You look tired. Thanks. We ate in quiet. The whole house seemed to exhale. The move took 6 hours. I carried boxes labeled miscellaneous that were anything but. They were years of drawers emptying. I kept finding my things inside them. My tape measure, my screwdriver, a hoodie I thought I'd lost. I just took them back, without a word. When the truck finally pulled away, the rooms felt bigger. The hallway was a hallway again, not a cluttered maze. The whiteboard went straight into the trash. The couch cushions stood up straight. I stood in the doorway, waiting for triumph. It didn't come. What came was something cleaner, like stepping out of a pool and realizing you're warm. That night, I slept without earplugs. Woke up before my alarm, because the house was just that quiet. I made coffee in my own kitchen, stood barefoot on floors I'd mopped yesterday, and thought, this is what normal is supposed to feel like. Nothing snapped into perfect shape after that. This isn't a movie with swelling strings and a grand finale. It's a series of small, deliberate choices that add up to peace. My mom still occasionally says, you embarrassed me, when she's hurt. My dad still talks about autopay like it's a contagious disease. Mia still posts quotes about chosen family that are true, but still land like darts. But here's what changed. I no longer audition for good son by bankrupting myself. I no longer apologize for wanting space in a house I pay for. I no longer hand over my car keys, my credit card, and my sanity to avoid being called dramatic. I ask for what I need. I say no like it fits in my mouth. I put money agreements in writing even with relatives. Especially with relatives. The calls are different now. Can you help move a dresser? Maybe. What time? How heavy? Can you spot us groceries? I can build you a $60 list that feeds you for a week. Can we come to dinner? Saturday, 7 to 10 p.m. Bring dessert. No extras. Boundaries look stiff on paper, but living inside them feels soft, like having a spine and a couch at the same time. A week after they moved, my mom texted me at 10:04 p.m. We're short on water. Can you cover? We'll pay you back. Old me would have paid immediately, then lived in the familiar famine of next Friday. New me replied, I can loan you $40. I'll send a DocuSign, due back by the 15th. She wrote back, ridiculous, and signed it 3 minutes later. She paid on the 14th. Progress isn't poetic. It's a calendar notification. It's money arriving on time, and that's good. Sometimes, I still hear that line echoing. If you don't like living with family, you can leave. And my jaw tightens. Then I look around. My plants are thriving. My cat's asleep in a sunbeam. My coffee mug is drying beside the sink. My mug. No lipstick ring. The thermostat's little screen is at 68. A steady heartbeat. I breathe all the way down. I didn't fix my family. I adjusted my part in the machine. I stopped confusing sacrifice with love. I stopped mistaking being indispensable for being valued. I drew a line and I stood on my side of it. Without shouting. If you're watching this and you're where I was, family in your space, living rent-free in your rooms and in your head, while you cook, clean, pay thousands, and apologize for asking for quiet, here's the script I wish I'd had. Write it down. Prices, dates, rules, consequences. Say it once calmly. Expect blowback. Expect silence. Expect that parking lot night under an orange lamp, and the unsettling thought, maybe I'm the villain here, but then expect a kind of peace. A quiet peace. It sounds like a dishwasher finishing its cycle. It looks like your cat blinking at you from a sunlit windowsill. It feels like putting your keys in a bowl by the door and knowing exactly where they'll be tomorrow. My name is Alex. I'm 28. Not the golden child, not the rebel, not invisible. I'm the one with a house that finally feels like a home because I finally acted like it's mine. And when I lock the door at night, it's not to keep people out. It's to keep my peace in. Seriously, if you've ever had to draw a line with family, what was your moment? What did you say? I really want to hear your stories in the comments below. Let's talk about it.